time it is!
Welcome, I am Chris, and thank you for allowing me to insert the C-Squared Hour into your ears this week. As you know, I was a little late last week getting this up, but there was, a solid reason for it, so I hope you forgive me a little bit, but this is the officially the second week of January. How fun! So, as I start off every show with, I'm going to tell you all what I'm drinking, and once again, I am going with Kokanee, one of the Northwest's favorite beers, and quite honestly, one of mine. I would like to say there's a special reason for it, but not really. The biggest reason is I was grabbing beer to go to my friend's house the other night, and my sister and I had already gotten pretty tuned up at the casino, so I wanted just kind of my normal, I guess, any day go-to beer, and as you know, it's Kokanee, so, and I had some left over because, like I said, I got pretty tuned up, so I didn't go to town like I should have. So, yeah, Kokanee beer from the Columbia Brewing Company out of Creston, BC. And if you're in the Northwest and you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. If you're somewhere other than the Northwest, talk to whoever you need to talk to get it there. All right. Now, of course, fans of my show are going to be wondering where the other Chris is. And from what I heard about a week ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, shit, it could be up to a month ago. Yeah, Christ, it's been a while. When he heard the vaccine was coming out, here's the thing. He's not a big fan of the British. Don't know why. Just one of those things. He comes from Irish. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons, but none of them I can remember. So, him not being a huge fan of the British, he flew over there, or boated. I forget if he Gretaed it or not, but he's over in England right now, and what he's doing is he's trying to delay the vaccine process in Great Britain. The reason being is he wants less travelers from Britain to come to America for a while. He wants to give the country a bit of a break from the Brits. I don't know if that's the shirt he made, but that's kind of what he described to me. So, trying to give America a break from the Brits. You know what? He might still be upset with the whole revolution thing. I know he can hold grudges, and being the patriot that he is, I think maybe that's what it comes from. Wouldn't shock me. So he is over in England trying to, I don't know how he's doing it, if he's trying to increase the regulations for the testing to get out, or if he's trying to raise the bar for who qualifies for the vaccine this early. That is what he's doing. So I wish him all the luck. And from what I see, I just saw something come up on the news. So his plan may be working, because I just saw something that said the CDC just announced today that they are going to require all travelers coming into the U.S. to show proof of a negative COVID test, or I didn't see exactly. It was just a banner across the bottom. It wasn't the news story or whatever. So they're requiring some sort of proof or anything along those lines. So maybe his actions are actually working out. So if that's from him, congratulations. I'm very impressed. I know I asked this question last time, and not enough of you got back to me on it. So I didn't make the decision But I figured something out. I asked if I should become a juggalo. I think I'm just bored. Quite honestly, I think that's what it is, because I've been digging more into being a flat earther. I've been digging more into the QAnon stuff, trying to be one of those people. And then Juggalo comes up. It's another group that I just came across. So, honestly, I think I'm just bored. That's my guess. I don't know if I truly want to be a juggalo, or if I just want another group of friends to be able to talk to during all this, because I have enough people that are being responsible with all this. And so that's what it comes down to. I just don't have enough social activities, so I'm trying to find other social activities. And you look at flat earthers, you look at QAnon, you look at juggalos, all of them I think are probably, or the big majority of them are going to be anti-maskers, right? So they're going to be willing to hang out and things like that. So I think that's where my, I guess, wanting, or, I know that's not the right word, my desire, there we go, my desire to get involved in another group comes from. So my new segment that I started here a couple weeks ago, my way too late analysis. And I have to apologize to my listeners, because this is going to kind of go on the whole sci-fi nerdy side of things again. I didn't mean to. It just came across. I happened to be watching the original Star Wars, the 1 through 3, or the 4 through 6, or however the fuck they number them now. Anyway, the original ones. And this has not been brought up. Luke Skywalker is the worst hero of all time. Absolute worst. Fucking terrible. Even that tree in Guardians of the Galaxy does more than fucking Luke Skywalker. Why the fuck are we why are we putting him up on a pedestal as one of the greatest of all time? Let's go through his big accomplishments in the 3 movies. The first one, he fires a shot out of his plane using his imagination, and it just happens to hit the spot. Okay. Second one, he basically needs Han Solo to save his life. Harrison Ford has to go out there and risk his life in the fucking winter because he fell off his Star Wars horse or whatever the fuck. So that was his big accomplishment, the second one. And the third one, all he did was talk his daddy out of being an asshole. Those are his accomplishments. So why the fuck is he the hero? I mean, I just said I mean again. God damn it. I'm trying so hard to do it. But if you know me in real life, I say it all the time in real life too. So I'm sorry. But why is he the fucking, the nerdy gold robot and fucking does more than he does in the fucking thing? So I don't know. So that's my too late analysis. That's all I got on it. Luke Skywalker, fucking overrated. His big accomplishment at the end of the 3, he talked daddy into being a nice guy. Didn't even save everyone's life for a real fucking reason. Just talked daddy into being a good boy. Okay, and another quick analysis I had. This isn't too late. This is current. As you noticed, the last couple episodes I had NBA games going on. 2 things I learned, or I thought of. I'm not going to beat to death, because I'm sure other people have said them before. There's no reason an NBA player should shoot under 70% from the free throw line. Just shouldn't fucking happen. You're getting paid, thousands upon millions and whatever. If you can't make a shot without no one covering you, and I get there's pressure, and I get you're a big guy, so you don't necessarily practice it all the time, but anything under 70% is just a joke. And that should be a requirement to be an all-star. Okay, yeah, you're scoring 20 points, but you shoot 34% from the line. Sorry, bud, but you didn't make it. Another thing I noticed, The referees need better shoes. Really, I mean, they're wearing the that look like the all black poor kid shoes. But really, you're the NBA. You started the whole sneaker thing. Well, Jordan did. No, not really, because the whole Converse thing that started it up. So, never mind on that. But why have you not gotten the referees, something better? I mean, they might be fantastic shoes. They might be the best thing ever, but make them look a little flashy. I mean, let's just add a little more to the court, huh? Why are we not thinking about that? Just one more thing as I bump the table. Just one more thing you can add to get more people to just another bit of flair to the games. NBA fans love shoes. Let's get the refs rolling in some, right? Man, I am killing the analysis game today. Man, that is... Whew. Well, guess what? Here comes another one. As I bump the microphone. Watched the college football championship last night. Alabama put the wood to Ohio State. No real shock. Ohio State played, 5 games before the playoffs? Regardless of how talented your team is, and if you're even the more talented team, you can't beat a team who's had a full season playing in the SEC. An Alabama team that's had a full season getting there. Regardless of how good and how talented you are. I'm not saying their first win was a fluke, but it just didn't shock me. So I'll let all the people getting paid for this shit to really talk about the game. First week the NFL playoffs happened. I got some thoughts on that as well. Again, this is going to be a very surface level analysis because, again, I just looked at the headlines, I watched the games, but I let the fucking experts do what they're going to do, right? Who am I to take someone else's job until I fucking earn it, right? I'm just a dumbass spouting off things in my dumb little office. There, I adjusted the mic. Maybe I'll stop fucking bumping it like a goddamn amateur. But I am an amateur, so maybe I should bump the mic more often and give more of a accurate portrayal of what I'm doing in here. So, being in the Northwest, had to hear a lot about the Seahawks thing. They lost to a quarterback with one hand, basically. So there was that. One thing I noticed in the Seahawks game, again, not going too deep into it, letting the people getting paid for it until I start getting paid for it, and then, why do I describe this every fucking show? God, I'm a redundant cunt. One thing I noticed, if you watch Chris Carson, the running back for the Seahawks run, he lowers his head and leads with the crown of his helmet more than any other runner I see. Just lowers his head and just drives the top of his head into people, which is supposed to be a penalty now. It's supposed to be the same for offense and defense. It's not. And I highly doubt it's ever going to be called like that. But he is, from what I've seen, he is the biggest perpetrator of that penalty that never gets called. So I found that interesting. Again, it's a call it's never made. It's never made on anybody. I'm not trying to be a anti-Seahawks. Oh, he's over. I just noticed that he does it a lot more often than I see other people do it. Not blaming him if they're not going to fucking call it. Fucking do it. They set up how they're going to do it. But if they actually do start really enforcing that like they talk about doing, he is going to have some trouble, I think. Just my opinion. That pick six that Russell threw, that was quite the block that receiver threw. I forget what receiver is, but he basically just matadored him and let him go up there and grab ball, and there was nothing there. But yeah, that was something. So that was, once I saw that, I kind of figured, no matter how good the teams played, I kind of felt like the Rams had the edge on all the other stupid shit that all the experts talk about for an hour to justify their jobs or networks. And wow, the Browns started putting the wood to the Steelers. Jumped up 21-0. And then, Steelers showed that, yeah, they're still the better team, but the Browns had too big of a lead and they played too well to keep it going. So, yeah, that was a pretty good game. And, everyone says the Colts kind of got screwed on a call. Whatever. You guys know me and the refs, thing. You get screwed on a call at the end of the game, or a call doesn't go your way at the end of the game. Well, what about the 4 that went your way earlier in the game? No one's ever going to be fucking happy with it. And you're only going to look at the one fucking play that's close. You're not going to look at the ones that were called well. You're not going to look at the ones that went the other team's way. You're not going to look at how many penalties were against one team to the other. No, what you're going to look at is, when was the game the closest? Let's find a shitty call or a call we disagree with at that time. And we're going to stick to that one. So, if the Colts feel like you got screwed, you didn't. Alright. And the only other thing I had, watching the Washington-Tampa Bay game, I couldn't tell if that game was because Tampa Bay was good or Washington was bad, or a combo of both. But experience says a lot, but Tampa Bay's probably done, in my opinion. So it was a good run. You let the 40-year-old retire to Tampa Bay like he does, and in my humble opinion, I think they're going to be done. Not putting money on it because I'm done betting the NFL. I'm done betting football, quite honestly. I watch all these bad beat things. I watch all these games where they take a knee instead of going for an extra point. Like the whatever it was when Minnesota beat New Orleans, whatever they call that play. And they had to do the extra point, and rather than kicking the extra point, they took a knee, which means if you took the over, you lost, and if you took the under, you won, or the spread, something along those lines. I'm done betting football because something weird always happens like that. Like, oh, we have to run out the clock. Rather than just run out the clock, we'll run around and then take a knee in the end zone for a safety. Oh, well, guess what? Now they beat the spread. So I think anyone who still bets football is a twat. I think I made a college football prediction. I'm going to have to go back and listen a couple shows ago as I bump the fucking microphone again. Christ, I'm having a rough go with that. I think I made a prediction 2 episodes ago on the college football championship, if I remember. I don't know. I made some prediction, and it had to do with, I think, 2 touchdowns, but I forget what it was. So I will, I'll go back and listen, and I'll put it in the show description if I was right or wrong. I try not to listen to myself because, if you can't tell, I'm not a big fan of me. And so, whatever. But I'll go back and listen, or I'll ask some of you what it was, but I'll put it in the description, and we'll go from there. Biggest takeaway I had from the playoff football, and I don't know why. You know what? It actually did hit me earlier in the year. I'm not sure why I just decided to go with it at this point. Why the fuck do we have to deal with Chris Collinsworth's son? Anyone have any idea? Chris Collinsworth was a receiver, I think Hall of Fame receiver, if I'm not mistaken. Super Bowl champion receiver. So, you get the expert opinion of him. You understand why he's in the booth or why, he earned a spot up there. That's fine. But it's almost like NBC said, Chris Collinsworth's voice is not off-putting and annoying enough. What should we do? Oh, I know. Let's get somebody there who's a little bit younger, who has less of a resume, but still talks like he has a Super Bowl ring himself. Let's get that guy. Yeah, that's what we'll do, because, Chris Collinsworth isn't a divisive enough commentator. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's it. That is it. I understand nepotism, and I'm all for it. All right, if you want to get your kid a fucking job, by all means. If you got yourself into a position, there's not many people out there who have got themselves in a position to get their kids hired. All right, if you look at the grand scheme of people who work and people who don't, and whatever, there's not a whole lot of people who can get their kids hired with seemingly no qualifications for it. But NBC Sports, you have so many fucking places and channels and websites. You have so many hours you have to fill up. Why put him on Sunday night? Was it a thing where it's like Chris Collinsworth is saying, well, if you don't put him on here, I'm not coming back. Okay, then don't. You are the most... I guess Aikman gets a lot of shit for some reason, but you are the least... What I find least easy, not as easy. I don't know. I find you the hardest to listen to out of any NFL. Well, now that McFarland is in the booth, but I found him easy because he's entertaining. I digress. I find you the least easy to listen to. So if that's the reason they hired Chris Collinsworth's son, NBC, you made a horrible investment. And if it was one of your fuckers' ideas, if you're saying, hey, look, let's add another guy because we need someone else for some reason, you're fucking idiots too. What's scaring me is the fact that why we're dealing with Chris Collinsworth's son is he went to college and, I think he was Notre Dame along with his brother. I don't remember, but he went for this thing. What's scaring me is Al Michaels has told NBC that he is preparing to retire, and they are grooming Sunday Night Football to be Chris Collinsworth and his son in the booth. I don't know if there's any odds on that. I don't know if there's anything. I don't know if you can go to Vegas. But I'm telling you, I can guarantee you the odds would be pretty fucking good. Now, don't put your house payment down on this, because you could still make a pretty good payment off of this. But if there's a prop bet out there, if when Al Michaels retires, if it's Collinsworth and Collinsworth in the booth, I think that's a worthwhile bet. Which is not only scary, but wow. The one thing that I will give them credit for, if this is the reason they're doing it, if they understand, there's no such thing as bad press. So if we get something out there, ESPN's dumb enough to, fire the guy they don't like or whatever. If NBC is saying, look, he's qualified enough to read a teleprompter and to be able to read off a screen, that's fine. But if he's bad enough or annoying enough, or you put the two in the booth together, people are going to be talking. Well, by all means, NBC, I'm all for that plan. If that's the reason you're doing it, but just let me know. You can let me know behind the scenes. I won't tell anybody. I'll keep it a secret. But if that's what you're doing, by God, NBC Sports, I respect it. But if you just hired him because you think his dad's so fucking talented that it's gonna come... Yeah, guess what? It was genetic. But it was the annoying voice and the, for some reason, uppity attitude he seems to have, that was genetic, not what you consider his quote-unquote talent to be. Now, there was my surface-level NFL conversation. That's just what I got from reading headlines and watching the games. I mentioned last week that I was late because I was kind of watching what happened at the Capitol and didn't want to give too much of an analysis before it happened, because I remember my election episode. It was 4 hours, and I'm sure it was pretty fucking annoying. So I wanted to avoid doing that again. And there's a couple things I saw that I found... Well, there's one thing I found semi-funny and just kind of not necessarily ironic, but I'm surprised Trumpians or Trumponians or Trumpists or whatever they're calling themselves these days. I'm surprised they haven't gone on this, but there was a report, and quite possibly this could have been fake, I didn't look into it that much, that they're talking about building a wall around the Capitol building to avoid people getting in there. Hey, MAGA people, here's your chance. Make a joke about that. They gave you an opening. This time people might listen to you. This time you might have a point. Nope, nothing. Okay, so either that report was fake, or even though I'm not a Trump supporter, I'm the smartest Trump supporter. Anyway, that was one thing I saw. I'm not sure how much I really want to talk. I mean, I'm going to spend the rest of the episode talking about it, but don't, again, it's going to be a very surface level, because you turn on any sort of TV channel, there is some sort of thing about it. Honestly, biggest takeaways I have from it, well, can we be honest? Was there any shock that the guy taking a picture, stealing the podium, was from Florida? Do we have any sort of... And I know this is kind of a hack premise at this point, but of course he's fucking from Florida. Like I've said before, when you've run out of options anywhere on the East Coast, you move to Florida. The same on the West Coast when it comes to Alaska. That's where it is. It's the end of options place. And so, of course, the guy was from Florida. And apparently, there's a report now. There's reports that Capitol Police saw this coming back in July. Well, no shit. There was a fucking riot everywhere. So you look at buildings. Where are people going to be pissed off? They're going to be pissed off at the government. Yeah, I bet there's going to be protests and riots there. But if you knew this was coming in July, what the fuck were you doing about it? What does the Capitol Police do? You have the Secret Service, you have the DC Police, I'm sure you have whatever county it is, sheriffs, because that's a thing still. But what was the Capitol Police doing all that time? Oh, we see it coming. Well, you guard the Capitol. Well, you didn't do a good enough job. Secret Service has the White House taken care of. Granted, there's a fence around the White House. Huh? Yeah, if you knew this was coming back in July, why did it still happen? Did they catch us by surprise? You didn't know which ones were going to be doing it? I don't know. But one of the things that's coming out currently with all of this is Congress is trying to start, they voted to start the debates on the impeachment hearings for President Trump inciting this, or he's the one that incited the violence, or he's the reason this happened. So we have to make sure that he's held accountable. No, you don't really give a shit about that. What you're trying to do is make sure that he goes down in history as the absolute most infamous president of all time. Just admit that that's what you're trying to do. Just say, look, for a while there, we had one president who was impeached. We had one who resigned. We had a second one who was impeached. But you know what? Trump deserves a special place in our history books. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to try to get him impeached twice. Because you know what that means? You know what that means? Absolutely fucking nothing. Absolutely nothing. In fact, I don't know how this works. And before I started, I am 100% sorry. I just hit the fucking microphone stand again. I tried. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I don't know how it works, but can you impeach a president who's out of office already? Can you start the hearings? Can you do all that? Because what's the goddamn point? What are we doing? You have, what is it, 10 days before you're rid of this guy forever? Regardless of what he's saying and what he's trying to say, and he's gone. All right, he's gone. Just stop. Ride this out. Get rid of him. You could all put this behind you. You can do whatever you want, or admit what you're trying to do. We want the history books to have a special place for this guy. We want to make sure that he has something that no other president has, no other president probably will have, and pretty fucking shitty. Just say that's what you want to do. If you say that's what you want to do, I'll respect it. I will jump on board. I'm all for watching history happen. I'm all for trolling a fucking guy. If you're on the way out the door, if you're just trying to kick him in the ass, say, hey, not only were you voted out, guess what? Yeah, impeached twice. I'm all for it. I love shit like that. That's fun. That's fun for me. But come on, people. Come on. Just admit it. Help me out. Help me enjoy you. I try so hard. And I've come so far. Anywho, that was that's what's happening with that. 100%. I know that's what's happening. They're not going to admit to it. They're going to say, well, regardless of if he's leaving, we need to make sure that they know in the future that this sort of action and this sort of rhetoric can't be tolerated in this country. This is why the government is, in general, hated. Because you just can't be honest. You're trying to give one more fuck you to this guy on the way out the door. Just say that. You don't give a flying fuck about why the raid happened or the fact that he did it. Just want one more fuck you. And I still don't know if you can impeach, because, again, stupid, if you could be impeached after you're out of office. But, whatever, it doesn't mean anything, so just say it doesn't mean anything. Just say you're trying to put another black mark on him, and I'll be fine with it. The best part about this is watching Mike Pence having to try to make a decision. Holy Christ, is he fucking lost. So, he starts by backing the president 100%. We need to find these votes, and we need to... Now, all of a sudden, the votes aren't going to give them... Well, now, he wants the president to, have a seamless and peaceful transition to the next one. But he's got his dick kicked in by the MAGA people for saying that. So, now he's not going to... Even though the House voted on it and said he should, he's not going to invoke the 25th Amendment. It's like, well, I don't want to do that. I mean, even Mitch McConnell, I don't know what it is about puppet faces, but people with faces that look like puppets annoy the shit out of me. I couldn't tell you one real thing that Mitch McConnell's done. Yeah, he's done a bunch of shit on TV. yada yada. But I couldn't tell you, like, one real thing he's done. But he looks like a puppet, so he annoys the shit out of me. Oh, and I just see this come up. FBI warns of more armed protests ahead of inauguration. No shit. The fuck did they hire a 5th grade social studies teacher to come up with that? Right-wing people are pissed. Right-wing people tend to have more guns. If there's a protest, there might be armed protesters. Thanks, FBI. Why don't you fucking stand arm in arm in front of the Capitol so you actually do something this fucking time? As I almost spilled my beer. Holy shit. I'm sorry to stop this all, but there is the goofiest looking guy I've ever seen. I'm watching Newsy in the background, one of these news channels. I didn't want to watch the main ones. But holy Christ. He's from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. There is the weirdest looking fuck I have ever seen in my life. Or at least on TV. I don't know what the fuck he's an expert on, but he's got to be the best expert of all time. But Pence having to step up is just fucking hilarious. So now he wants a seamless transition. He's not invoking the 25th Amendment. It shows once the spotlight really gets put on him, it shows he's the same fucking wishy-washy douchebag as everyone else. It shows he doesn't have any real fucking opinions, that he just goes with the flow like they all do. And now that there doesn't seem to be a specific flow, he has to straddle the fence to figure out what the fuck to do. So, I have an idea. Just shut up too. Just fucking leave. You got 10 days left. What the fuck are they going to do? We vote that you should invoke this. Well, nah. I'm not going to do anything. My job's done. I don't care what this fuck says. I'm no longer here. Miss Harris, this is your fucking deal now. I don't know how that works either. Even if the president doesn't secede office or whatever, it's just the vice president. Who knows? This is fucking weird. Just stop. Donnie, Mikey, just stop. President Trump, I know you backed yourself into a corner. I know you have, but just stop. Let's just get over this. If you came on tomorrow and said, you know what, regardless of how I agree with this, regardless of what happened, I'm going to step down because it's better for the country. However, I'm going to continue my investigation in the voting thing, and if it comes out, whatever, okay, then you're proven right, and you don't look like a fucking douche nozzle. I like how QAnon's the one they're really blaming for this. Well, I mean, kinda, yeah. I don't know. My QAnon people they're a little upset with me now just because I've made fun of them a little bit. So, hey, QAnon people, I'm still on your side. I'm trying to be on your side. And like I said, I did promise more of. Just saw someone with a QAnon shirt. United we stand. Shut up. Christ. If you want people to take you seriously, don't come up with an 80s fucking movie tagline for United we stand. Shut up. 4,000 U.S. deaths of COVID, but half of them died from gunshot wounds. Alright, getting back to it. So, the people who stormed the Capitol building and who stole shit and who, made them feel unsafe or whatever. I told you guys, you didn't do any good. This is going to be the end of my analysis. Again, it's going to be very superficial because anywhere you turn, you're going to see hours upon hours upon hours of all this shit. So it's going to be very superficial. And what I'm going to tell you is y'all fucked up. While I was watching football, I saw that Nancy Pelosi was going to be on 60 Minutes. Immediately following your game, except if you're on the West Coast. Right, folks? she was going to be on 60 Minutes, and she was, going to talk about, what it meant for her and what. Well, congratulations, Stormers. The one thing that was able to do was to make that wonk-eyed twat a fucking victim. All you fucking did. Nothing's changed. No one's scared. No one's rethinking what they're doing because you stormed that. No, guess what? The people you most want to influence with this, or the people you want to are gaining fucking sympathy. They're going on 60 Minutes saying, oh my God, I was so scared. And we're supposed to sit there, right, that guy was not okay and he was sitting in your office. You guys fucked up. I don't know how long or how often I say to people, just don't be that guy and let them be the idiots. It's better for, people to think you're stupid than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. Or just, no, but, I mean, come on. I describe it like watching when Philadelphia won the Super Bowl. They had that big-ass riot, but it didn't feel like it was real. It's like, everyone's expecting us to do this. So we have to do this, right? We have to make sure it's a big fucking riot because we're Philly fan. That's almost what the Capitol raid felt like. Well, we have a demonstration. We don't like what's fucking happening. So you know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to do something batty. I know. We'll push past a bunch of cops and fuck with Democrats shit. Some of us in a lion suit. It didn't seem like anything sort of real or like that wanted to be completed, and the only thing it really accomplished, besides annoying liberals and middle of the road conservatives and middle of the road liberals and independents, besides annoying them, it happened to make Nancy Pelosi look like a victim. So that wonk-eyed weirdo now gets to go around saying, I was so scared and I didn't know what was going on. And these people that would do this, they're terrorists. They're domestic terrorists. That's all you did. So congratulations. You succeeded in the opposite thing of what you were trying to do. Congratulations. People just need to figure shit out. Regardless of what you want to do and what you think's the best, you don't know what's the best. What do you watch on the news and say, huh? Or better yet, when you go to a bar, check that, a restaurant. Not a small family restaurant, but not a chain restaurant, somewhere in the middle where, there's 4 of them throughout your area, but they're not a chain. When you go to one of those and you sit down and by people watching the news, what do you hear? And whatever's fucking annoying the majority of them, don't do that. Majority of them were upset about how violent the protests turned over the summer. The majority of them are upset by how this turned out. So you know what? If the majority of them are thinking that way, don't fucking do it. Because if you go to one side or the other, all you do is you make the other side look better. Luckily, for the Democrats and the liberals and the Black Lives Matter movement, there was enough hatred to Trump over how the pandemic was being handled, where you didn't see the intense hatred of how those, you saw them, but you didn't see it trickle upwards to the government. It stayed where it should have been with the people who were fucking shit up. It didn't go higher to where it didn't belong, if that makes any sense at all. I know what the fuck I'm thinking. So if you can't follow me, that's my fault. Anyway, QAnon and MAGA and whoever the fuck was involved, you did exactly the opposite of what you're trying to do. All right, well, we're coming to the end of this week's episode. What I want to do is I want to tell one thing to my local government here. And this just happens to be in a relatively busy area of town, and they're rebuilding a library. Can we stop with the fucking libraries? Please? Why the fuck are we wasting money on filling buildings with books when schools don't even use books anymore? Huh? And then what you do is you throw all these fucking local initiatives and if you pay 0.04 more cents per gallon of gas, or for a quart of milk, you pay for a quart of milk. What am I fucking, Jesus Christ, am I a World War II newspaper? Hey, pass a quart of milk. They throw these initiatives, and the way they word it's like, well, the children need a good place for learning. That's what a fucking school is, dipshit. There's a library being rebuilt within walking distance from my house. It's a bit of a long walk, but within. If I go in there and I don't see just a fucking internet cafe and a place for the homeless to go to the bathroom, we wasted our fucking money. That's all a library should be anymore. They don't use books in school anymore. They give everyone a fucking rental computer or computer to use or what. Why are we filling buildings with books? Better question, why the fuck am I avoid paying taxes as much as I can. Why are people who pay taxes paying for outdated and completely useless buildings? Anyone have an answer? Well, they offer a lot of programs, and they could do it without wasting money on books. You don't need a bigger building, just take out all the fucking shelves. All you gotta do, turn it into an internet cafe and a homeless dump station. Just call it what it is. Let's stop pretending that it fucking matters. Let's stop pretending that people still go there to get books. Alright, well, I'm coming to the end of my show. Thank you all for sticking with me here. I do appreciate it. Again, rocking the kokanee tonight, doing its job perfectly for what I need it for. If I leave you with anything for this episode, this may come out to be a bit of a shorter episode than other ones, but I don't know, fuck it. If I leave you with anything from this episode, here's what I want you to remember. Luke Skywalker was a dweeb, and anyone who thinks he's a hero should have at least one of their testicles removed. Or, no, I like that. One of their testicles removed. That's the biggest thing I think you should take from this episode. Again, Chris is over in England, stopping vaccines from happening. As always, reach out to me, Twitter, on Facebook now, Instagram, email. I've said those enough. If you haven't figured them out by now, go fuck yourself. Anyway, thank you once again. I got nothing else. So, barring any sort of event or suicide or explosion, I will see you all next week.